Okay, good morning. It is now the final day of all of this. The calipers are painted, the back is painted, the front is painted. We ended up now replacing the LED lights from the outside mirrors also. We're at the home stretch now. We pretty much have just to put everything back together at this point. I will have to bleed the brakes, which is just one thing I'm a little concerned about. But everything is ready to go. I'm hoping the paint is also dry now on the calipers. I'm about to double check them to make sure they're ready to get applied back to the rotors. I don't think there's anything else. The front bumper is also something that I'm going to work on, so I'm going to try to do this. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm going to try to do this in the next like 2 hours to reapply the rotors and the brakes and everything. Hopefully then in like around 9ish we'll be able to go test fit the front bumper, and then by then we'll go to the muffler shop and have the rims checked. We'll go to the muffler shop and then have the actual like hole that's at the bottom welded. I'm still tired because I just woke up, so give me a second to warm up and then we should be good to go. All right, next you're going to actually have to get the brake rotor itself, the new one. I'm gonna grab this surface so I don't like damage it. I'm gonna put it down. All right, so with the new brake rotor, what you want to do is you want to get some brake clean, spray it down, and then pass some paper over it. Just because, apparently, from what I saw from Chris Fix, is they layer this with like a protective film in order to avoid rust. Now, what side? Wait, these are labeled. This is rear. No, I need driver's side, not passenger side. So now I sprayed this down. I wiped it off. There's some stuff. There's like some dirty stuff on it. We sprayed this down. We're gonna now wire brush the actual rotor itself just to clean it up. I forgot to mention, you're going to need to take this little thing off of the old one. So, maybe add some brake clean to it. I don't even know if you can see that, but just popping this piece back on to the actual rotor itself. It's on the old one. It's a little rubber piece, you can't miss it. It's in the same spot. And we just gotta, there we go. Put it back on onto this one, and now we should pretty much be ready to install. All right, so next we're going to add some anti-seize just around the actual rotor itself so it doesn't get stuck the next time we have to take it off. Let's see.
That's one rusty damn thing. Did you brush it?
There might be a brush in here already.
No, did you brush that?
What?
Did you brush that with the steel brush?
What?
Did you clean that with the steel brush?
Yeah, I did.
Sure as hell don't look like you.
Bro, what do you mean?
You can get those things silver, bro.
Where?
Everywhere.
Much more. Now it goes on the actual rotor itself. This is where the slide pin goes attached to in the back. I'll show it to you right now. I'm just gonna double check to see if I have an extra one of these. That's the part right there. Right here. You just want to wipe that down, and then the silicone attachment goes attached down here.
Come on, guys, subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. On my 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be giving away my car.
Okay, let's add the lubricants to this. There. And then on the outside. So it squeezes right through. There, perfect. That's in. All right, we're gonna now compress this and compress the piston back. You probably don't need this fancy of a tool. I just ended up buying it because I saw it in the tutorial. pads. So it should be as simple as putting this here.
Wait, why are you using the old brake pads though?
This here. There you go. And it is compressed.
Well, congrats.
Just for context to what I'm doing, the seal itself has to like latch on the bottom one onto the other part of the actual like the part that's attached to the car, and it's a pain because I can get the top part on because I just push it in, but I can't get the bottom part in. And that's kind of where I'm struggling. So let me just figure this out.
I think.
Okay, the second I turn off the camera, I got it on. Now we just gotta let me clean off my hand.
Are you gonna put that blue thingy on it? The anti-tremble?
Alright, a quick update. We're going to have to order a whole nother caliper, which is so annoying because this one I painted it, and this one actually came out much better than the other one. But the issue is, it's not even the caliper itself that has the issue. The mounting bracket, bro. Literally the mounting bracket is so old, the bolt can't grab on anything. So now I'm going to have to order another one. So that's now what? $70, $140 additional for the actual calipers now. How to install the brake line fluid. All right, so we got the caliper on, we tightened it up here. One thing, if you are switching out calipers, just make sure you break this beforehand, because if not, it's going to be a pain in the butt to get off. I made that mistake, so I just put it in there and I cracked it open. It wasn't too bad. But aside from that though, right now we're just going to transfer this line over to this one, and then we should be pretty much set there and just be able to install everything else in, like the brake pads. Adding now the NECs to the brake pads, right? I'm like forgetting words at this point, but yeah, we ended up setting up a tarp. We're adding the NECs to this. I don't know if it makes a difference, honestly, but I'm putting the one, if it helps anyone, the one with the with this part facing up. And yeah, we're just gonna install, adding some NECs to this section over here, to the top one, and then a little bit to the piston. But that should literally be it, honestly. It should just be as simple as sliding in and then just putting in the pins.
Cool transition.
All right, there's a lot of wind, but so
Yeah. Stop YouTube.
all right, there's a lot of wind, but for us to actually brake, like flush the brakes, we need to first take this part off, which is where the brake fluid is. Then just put all the old one in here, just maybe like up to a quarter of the way, and then we can actually have my brother go inside and actually pump the brakes so we can flush them. It's not too bad.
It's yellow.
Why does this thing drop it? What the heck? Bro, what kind of ratchet thing do you got here?
Bro, that thing hasn't been used since like 1999.
I think that's good. We don't need any more.
Is that it for the vlogs?
Yeah, so after this, we're just going to I'm gonna clean this up and refill it a little bit. Why are you holding on to the thing? Okay.
Dope transition.
To self, when you're putting these on, these don't go like this. This part goes attached to the caliper mount on this side, so it would go on here. The ring goes here and inside of this, and then the caliper goes attached to that, and then this goes on top of the caliper. Not this way. All right, so we're in the middle of cleaning up now and going to reinstall the wheel on the driver rear side. I had an issue, and I don't know if anyone else is going to be experiencing this issue. The actual here, this part where the brake line goes, it was leaking a lot before, and I don't know if it was the copper washers that they gave me that came with the actual nut that they had that weren't good. But I had to tighten this. I just ended up using the old washer that I had on this, and it fixed it a little bit. I had to tighten this thing beyond crazy, and there's like a little bit of residue that comes out. It's very small, but just something to keep in mind. I'm not sure if it's a caliper issue. I'm not sure if it's a washer issue.
I'm gonna have someone else take a look at it, hopefully in the upcoming days, because it's not too bad and it's not leaking. I'm hoping the brakes are good now, and yeah, we should be a-okay now to move forward.
I'm like trying my hardest to not drag out this video, but I just have to explain this because someone else might have a similar mistake to mine, and no one else has these kind of issues for their IS 250s or 350s. If your caliper is leaking a little bit, do not drive it at all, because once you have the pressure of you like pressing down on the brakes, it's going to leak everywhere and you're going to rust up other parts, and it's just not worth it. And then you also risk going down on your brake fluid. So don't drive it. You'll see how I end up fixing it eventually. This is just context for how to actually flush your brakes, because I didn't show that. You're gonna need a couple things. Wear gloves. I made the mistake of not wearing gloves, and I was getting so much brake fluid on my hands that my hands ended up starting to get like really dry. They're fine now, but I should have taken a photo. It was really bad. Second of all, you will need brake fluid. The IS350 takes .3. I don't know how it is for any other vehicles, but .3 seems to be like the general consensus for the kind of brake fluid vehicles take. But just double check your owner's manual. You will need a bunch of brake fluid because you're going to be flushing them, so you're going to be losing a lot. And if it gets to the bottom and you didn't fill it and top it, you will be in trouble because you will have to flush all of them. And I had to do that, and it's not fun because you have to do everything. This third thing you're going to need is this contraption right here. It is the brake fluid that I filled in the video you saw. You will drill the top, and you will need this pipe. I will link it down below because there's a certain measurement that fits on the nipples. It's like $7 at Home Depot, and it's a big package. I just snipped this off and then I kept this little part. You're gonna have to make sure that the other end is actually underneath the brake fluid and not like hanging out, because you want to make this air sealed. So all you're gonna do, and it's not that bad, you do need another person. One person will sit in the car, right? And obviously every like 5 pumps on the brake, you want to top up the brake fluid so it doesn't get to the low level. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put that on the brake nipple. You're going to then crack it open, and you're going to have someone, and you're going to say open if you want, whatever word you want to say, so the person knows. And once it's open, they're going to push down on the brakes. As they push down on it, brake fluid is going to come out of the caliper, and that's the process of flushing them. Then once you get to the bottom, of pressing down the brakes, you're going to close it. They're going to let go. It's going to come back up, and you just repeat this process until there's no more air bubbles on the actual, coming out of the caliper and the brake fluid. So just keep doing this a couple times. Remember to top it off, and always start with the passenger rear, then driver rear, then passenger front, then driver front, and that's it. And that's if you're flushing all 4. If not, just if you're doing the back 2 like I did, just do passenger rear, then driver side rear, and that's it. You don't got to do anything else. That's the process of flushing your brakes, and it's the same for all. I don't know how you do this alone, but this is a 2-man job, and it's really quick. But definitely do this regardless if it's just a hose, because if it's not leaking when it's placed on, the second you hit the brakes, all that pressure will cause it to leak.
All right, can you see it? Move a little bit there, right there.
You remember how the guy said to move the copper thing?
I did. That's what I'm trying to do.
Can you still see?
Yeah.
Just the back. Nah, bro, nothing.
Stop
It just likes to leak, bro.
Hit it.
Okay, so this is a video that needs to be done. I thought I was done with the brakes, bro. I really did. You guys don't want to know the rabbit hole I went into. So for starters, we ended up changing the calipers, as you know, and I don't know if I made a video on it, but my brakes were the only way I could brake was if I floored all the way down, and I had an issue with my brake light. Turns out air got into the actual brake line, so I had to flush every single one. So if anyone doesn't know how to do that, all you do is the same thing with the bottle, but you go passenger rear, then driver rear, then passenger front, then driver side. But anyway, I did that, and then I don't remember where we left off. The point is, on this part though, on this, the brake hose was leaking, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. So then I went back to the mechanic shop where I was going to get the parts, and they were like, yeah, you might just need new washers. They gave me new washers. I put them in. I tightened them, same thing. So they were like, yeah, you might just need a new line. They ordered me a line. I get this new line, right? And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is a line. I tighten up the bottom part of it and it stops leaking. So I'm like, thank God. To take this line off, it's really simple. All you need is this up here, and there's like a clip you pull back, which is probably somewhere around here at this point. I really don't know where it went. It was here. Point is, you take that off, and then you're supposed to connect this. That screw is so stripped, I can't like tighten it into the actual line. So it's leaking no matter what. This mechanic shop that I was going to can't get me until Tuesday. I'm losing brake fluid and I pretty much gave up. I'm out of options now. So I called the mobile mechanic who's gonna come out here in maybe like an hour. He's gonna come take a look at this and apparently he might be able to fix it. So fingers crossed that there's a solution to this because I'm done. I legitimately don't care how, like, I just want a solution. I'm tired of this. I've been at this for so long and it's like every piece I replace, something else goes bad. It went from the rotors and the brakes to the calipers, to the calipers, to the brake line, to the brake line, now to the brake hose. And dude, I'm done. I'm tapping out. But yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, so it has been roughly 2 weeks since the video you guys just saw. I didn't film anything during the time the mobile mechanic came out. I was too exhausted, and honestly, I was very low on faith on what he could do. But we actually fixed it. We fixed it, and it's been 2 weeks, and we have no leakage at all, and everything is working. So let me show you what he ended up doing. The new nut that's back there, he ended up fixing it. This is a brand new one he installed. This is the plate cover that I was talking about. That to take this off, you just unscrew that and then just pop this back, and it comes right out. He ended up installing a brand new one. The brake line itself, the original OG one, actually ended up working. The brand new one did not work. It was actually like stripped inside, so we couldn't get the new nut to actually latch onto it. So the old one, we ended up putting it back on and it did leak, as was the issue that we were having. But what he ended up using was like a small brass hammer. He whacked it a little bit, and he was telling me while he was doing this that remanufactured like calipers, when they're not OEM, the surface is usually not like sanded out, it's not flat enough, so you have to hit it a couple times with like a small brass hammer in order for it to actually grab onto it, or any small hammer in general. Just hit it and it should actually grab on and stop leaking. It did stop leaking. I really can't show that here, but anytime we ended up pressing the brakes, it wasn't leaking anymore, and that pretty much sums up the actual issue that we were having. We installed the old brake line, we fixed the actual like we flared this part that was back here. So if anyone's actually having an issue, the only thing you have to do so you avoid this issue is if your caliper's leaking, just hit it with like a small hammer in the back so it flattens out the surface and it grabs on, and you should have no leakage at all. Flush the brakes after and you're good. And that's it. I think it looks great. We're done. My brakes work. I flushed them. They pump perfectly. And I guess now on to the next video.